All right, so we're taking notes on the 5 Earth spheres. We decided we could do it in a couple ways. One way is to create a table in Word. So you can hit Insert Table, and we're doing one that's 3 by 5. We're putting our Earth spheres on the left-hand side. Our definitions are going to go in the middle, and our examples on the end. We can also insert pictures here to help us remember what each of them mean. So for example, let's look at the first one. And I might put a picture that looks like this. Ooh, that's really big. Let's make it small. I might put a picture that's reminds me of what it is so that I don't forget, right? Oh, that didn't work as well as I wanted to, but that's okay. You could also print it out and draw one. I think that I don't know where the clip art one is, but that's okay. So whatever works for you. Let me know when you're ready. You could also do a foldable. The foldable that we decided to do is to take a piece of paper, fold it in half, and cut 5 tabs, labeling each one. Now, for those of you that do have the foldable, when we open ours, we're going to do our definitions on this side and our examples on this side. Just so you know how we're setting ours up. Cool? All right. So going back to our Word document, like I said, it should be set up like this. So we're going to watch our Crash Course Kids videos on the Earth spheres. There's 2 of them. If you go to our page on Schoology, so if you go to our classes page on Schoology, you can find the videos. We're currently in period 6. We're going to go to unit 2 because that's what we're on. We're going to go to the folder for today's date, which is the 15th. And you'll see 2 links to the videos that we're looking at. Whatever we write in the definition side is going to go here. Our examples are going to go here. I'm going to be doing the foldable, so I'm bringing it back over here. We just talked about the Biosphere and the Geosphere, right? So let's open our Geosphere tab, and we're going to have our examples on this side and our definition on this side. Now, I always like to know what the root words mean. So all of these right here are root words, and they come from Greek words, like remember they said in our video? If we know what those words mean and we can relate them to other words we know, it will be very easy for us to figure out what each of them mean. What words do we know that start with geo already? What words do we know that start with geo? Geography, which is the study of maps, Earth, right? What else do we know? Geology, which is the study of rocks, right? Rocks and minerals. So in Greek, does anybody remember what they said geo means in Greek? You want to give it a shot?
Geo means like, I remember doing like a astronomy project where we had to do like a system where the Earth was in the middle and then the sun was out and then the Earth was out and then the sun was in. And one of them was geo, one of them was helio.
Oh, okay. So like geocentric is when the Earth is in the center, and heliocentric is when the sun is in the center because it's filled with gas. So knowing that geocentric is when the Earth is in the center, what do we think geo stands for?
Geo means Earth and Greek.
Right? It means ground in Greek. But what it means in terms of this is all of the solid parts of Earth, right? All that solid Earth. And what we mean by that is like rock, right? If you think about the Pokemon Geodude, right? He's a rock Pokemon. That was what he made the Earth look like. And remember, these are all called spheres because the Earth is a sphere. But like she said, it's a puzzle piece. All of these things together make up the Earth as a whole. Now, we already put one example of what belongs in the geosphere. We said rocks and minerals. But what else did they say? There's something else that goes with rock. What is broken down rock called? Sand and soil. Sand and soil are both called sediment, right? So like sedimentary rock. So I also want to make sure we have sand and soil in there because people don't think of the beach, like the sand part, as part of the geosphere, but it is. So sand and soil or sediment, and that's how we get sedimentary rock, is when that sand and sediment is crushed together and held together under pressure for a long time. There's something else that goes in here too. Emerson? Landforms. And someone yesterday asked me a really great question because it said volcanoes were a part of the geosphere, and they are, right? They're part of that solid Earth. But someone was like, well, what about lava? What do you think? Yes, no? Thumbs up if you think it is, thumbs down if you think it's not. It does. It is part of the geosphere. It is part of the geosphere because it's made of liquid metal, and metal is considered part of the geosphere too. That's igneous rock, right? So let's make sure we specify that. Volcanoes or volcano, lava, mountains, caves, canyons, deltas. And we'll just put ETC because there's a lot of different landforms. Does anybody know what a delta is? I don't mean the airline. Yep.
I think it's like when rivers splits into some place.
Yeah, so a delta is a deposit of all that sediment. So when soil or sediment gets broken down by weathering and gets moved by erosion, let's say the Mississippi River, it actually is one of the largest deltas. At the end of the Mississippi River, where it lets out into the ocean, it deposits all that sediment. And it forms like a little landform. It looks kind of like a beach, but it's not because it's kind of covered in water. It's more muddy. But it actually looks like a fan. It's really cool looking. I'll show you guys when we start talking about weathering and erosion. Yes, Mazzy? Terracotta? I don't know, but I want to go there because I love terracotta pots. If you think of it, let me know, okay? Caroline? Yeah, because it makes it so it makes it a slower process because sediment can still creep through, but it holds all that water so that it can't be eroded as fast. That was a good question. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very big on like drawing things to help me remember. So if you can, or if you want, it's up to you. You can draw a little picture on the front. So just to help me remember, I'm going to go to where it says Geosphere. And let's draw a volcano. Yeah? I'm going to draw a volcano on the front. Or a mountain. So you can draw whatever you want. I'm going to draw a volcano. There's all my lava. We can draw rocks. Just something to help you guys remember what belongs in the geosphere. Right? A rock. A mountain. Whatever helps you to remember what belongs in the geosphere. Right? We also talked about the biosphere. What goes in the biosphere? Or what did bio mean in Greek? Yep. So remember, if you're doing yours on Word, this side, that's what goes here. The examples go here. So our geosphere, we would write Greek for ground, and it means all the solid part of Earth. And then I would do my examples and include sand and soil, which is sediment. Did I spell that right? Yep. Landforms, rock, and minerals. So just so you know what that should look like, and if you want, you could print this out and draw a picture, or you could include a picture, some clip art, right, just to help you remember. So we said it was Greek for life, right? So this would be all of the living things on Earth. All of the living things on Earth. Let's think of our examples here. Anybody have some examples? Caroline? People, so humans, right? Humans are actually considered animals, so let's put animals too. Brennan, what else goes in the biosphere? We have humans and animals. What else is alive?
Things like flowers and
Flowers, so plants, perfect. There's two other things that are alive we might not think of. Jordan?
trees.
Trees, right? Part of plants. Bacteria, that's a good one. And then there's one more. Grass is a plant. Emerson?
Viruses.
That's debatable. Actually, whether viruses are alive or not, is a big debate in biology, because in order to be considered alive, you have to be able to reproduce on your own. Viruses need a host. So we'll actually talk more about that in Unit 5 when we talk about the classifications of life. Yep, Unit 5. When we talk about the classification of living things, and we can actually have a debate. But the one other thing, there's a kingdom called fungi, right? Fungi, they're decomposers, but they are alive. Yep. They produce they're able to get their own food by decomposing things. They adapt to their environment. They can reproduce on their own. We know this because you might see them after rainy days in Florida in your flowers, which makes me really mad. If you've ever seen a circle of fungi, they call that a fairy circle. I don't know why, but they do. All right, so on the front, I'm going to draw pictures of a couple things. Oh, somebody yesterday suggested that we write insects, because technically insects are animals. Yeah, insects are animals, but somebody else was like, insects aren't animals. They're considered arthropods or something, but that's actually considered an animal. So if you don't remember that they are considered animals, you might want to write insects too. But they do fall under animals. What I'm going to do to remind myself that they're included so we don't leave them out is I'm going to just draw a picture of a spider. just to remind myself that little Charlotte and her little web over here, they're included. I'm also going to draw myself a little mushroom. Right? I might draw a plant, well, just a leaf, right? Help me remember as well. And you may think you're like, this is an art class, but I can tell you that taking the time to draw those pictures actually really does help. And if you want to draw a human to remind yourself as well, I'm going to draw myself in a witch hat because it's close to Halloween. Look, it's me. No. Halloween's my favorite holiday, so I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do. I'm just drawing a stick figure person. You draw whatever you think is going to help you remember, right? Bamboo. You said bamboo? Okay. So whether it be an insect or a person, whatever helps you to remember. We just talked about the hydrosphere and the atmosphere. Remember the cryosphere, they considered part of the hydrosphere, but we're smarter scientists. So we know that it's its own separate sphere, right? But we'll hit that one last. Let's do atmosphere first, all right? What's up, love? Huh? Oh, for atmo? All right, what does it mean in Greek? Yep. And we'll have our examples over here. So this is all of the gases on Earth. All the gases. Does anybody, and this goes out to anybody, does anybody know what the most prevalent, that means like which gas is most present in our atmosphere? Emerson. Nitrogen. It is nitrogen. Nitrogen makes up 78% of our atmosphere. Does anybody know how much oxygen makes up? What percent? Or want to take a guess? No, because it can't be that much because it's 78%. So it has to be less than 78. Think about what adds up to 100.
50?
No, it has to be less than 22. Right? Because 22 would add up to 100. Close. Oxygen is 21. The remaining 1% is other gases. Like methane, when you toot, it happens. Carbon dioxide, argon, water vapor. There's something else they said, yes, ma'am? There's something else they said belongs in this. It holds all the water vapor in the sky. Yep. Clouds, because it's water vapor, and we know that when it's a vapor, it's considered a gas. Now, we'll talk about those 5 layers of the atmosphere that they talked about, the troposphere, the stratosphere, the mesosphere, the thermosphere, and the exosphere. We'll talk about those later because each one has a very specific job. Each one has a very specific job. So when I draw my picture on the front, I'm just going to draw some clouds. Ooh, wind is a good one. Right? All my wind, my clouds. If you're typing yours in our atmosphere, you should make sure you write Greek for air. It's all of the gases on Earth. And our examples are clouds, which are water vapor, nitrogen, oxygen, and other gases. Let's do these last two real quick. Hydrosphere. Hydro is Greek for, Caroline? Water. And you see I keep doing this Greek symbol here. That's actually that's a Greek symbol. It's called epsilon. It's a Greek symbol. It's a Greek alphabet. Have you ever heard of alpha and beta, omega, epsilon, theta? All of those are Greek letters. So this is Greek for water. And I'm going to specify that this is all of the liquid water on Earth. Because if it's a gas, right? If it's a water as gas, water vapor, that's the atmosphere. And if it's frozen water, then what does it belong in? The cryosphere, right? So I think that that's why we're separating them into 5, because we're taking each state of matter that water is in and putting it in its own category. So all the liquid water on Earth. So we could consider examples would be, what are the precipitation forms that would fall in this category? Rain. What about land features? Humidity would be water vapor. So that would be a gas, right? What holds most of the Earth's water? Oceans. Yep. Ooh, glaciers would go in the cryosphere. Very good. So lakes, rivers, ponds. What else? Fountains, right? All of those. You said what about what? Leaves? Oh, reefs. Yep, that would work. Gulfs, right? So I'm going to turn back to my front. Got rain, oceans, lakes, rivers, ponds. I'm going to go back to my front and just draw myself a little rain. So I've got my rain and I've got my ocean. If you're typing yours should look like this. In my hydrosphere, I've got my definition that it's Greek for water. And this is all the liquid water on Earth. Our examples we said were rain, oceans, lakes, rivers, ponds. All of those work. Now the cryosphere. Remember we had a trick to remember the cryosphere? Does anybody remember the trick? Ice baby. And what do babies do? They cry. In Greek, cryo actually means cold. Cold. And this is all of the frozen water on Earth. I'm even going to write our trick. Ice, baby, and then that baby's cry. I had some of my 7th graders, my 6th graders from last year, come in here to borrow laptops yesterday. And they came in when we were doing this, and I quizzed them. And I said, what was the cryosphere? And they were like, oh, that's ice. And I said, that's awesome. Do you remember how we remembered that? And they were able to tell me. And it made my science heart so happy because those tricks work. What, the ice baby? Yeah, it was 3 of them. They came in here, and I was like, da-na-na-na-na. It was awesome. So our examples, yep, glaciers. What precipitation would be in here? Snow. Sleet would be a mix of hydro and cryo because it's like frozen, but it's not all the way frozen. It's like a slushy, but we can put sleet in here too. And hail. So on my front, I'm just going to draw a snowflake. Now, would a polar bear go in this? No. Where would a polar bear go? The biosphere. Very good. No. It's that the idea of where they live, the Arctic is filled with ice, so that would go here. But a polar bear is alive, so that would go in the biosphere. So if you were typing it, you should be writing that it is Greek for cold, and it is all the frozen water on Earth. Our examples are, we said ice, snow, sleet, hail, and glaciers. We also can type our hints, right? Ice, baby. Babies cry. So if you take a look at your typed notes, look at that nice little, ooh, not that one. Look at that nice little organized chart. You can even draw pictures with it, just like we did. If you're doing your foldable, your completed foldable should look like this. And now you have all the information together in a nice organized package, right?